I'm Paul Alexander. I helped to co-author The Deliberate Church. And one of the reasons we decided to write The Deliberate Church was Mark's wife, Connie, got tired of him always feeling like he had to answer the same practical questions over and over and over. People would ask him, how do you implement the 9 marks? And she had heard the same really solid answers over and over. And she thought, well, why don't we put that in a book? Well, I had just completed the internship. I was then on staff with 9 marks at the time. And I had time to answer that question and think, hey, I could do that. So I put together a little table of contents, started writing the book, presented it to Mark, and he tweaked it. One of the reasons we wrote it was to help guys understand elders, pastors, people who wanted to be elders, seminary students, Bible college students. We wanted them to be able to answer the questions. Okay, if you've read the 9 marks and you are on board with expositional preaching, biblical theology, biblical understanding of the gospel, conversion, discipleship, evangelism, discipline, membership, growth, if you love those concepts and see them as priorities in the Bible, what do you do about that in the context of the local church? How do you encourage that? How do you prioritize those principles? How do you encourage church health in the way that you go about doing church ministry? And so we organized the table of contents around 4 main ideas. Gathering the church, and then when the church gathers. How do you gather a church? And then what do you do once the church gathers? And then we applied that also to the leadership of the church. Gathering the elders, and then what do you do when the elders gather to think about the business and leadership and priorities of the church? And so we wanted to create this book for church leaders and aspiring church leaders who understand biblical priorities, but don't yet understand or haven't seen them played out in the life of a local church.